Oh, but Naisha, focusing on ourselves is such a difficult job. Really? Are you hearing yourself? All you want to do is sit at your house, make excuses, procrastinate all day, and then say that focusing on your life is a difficult job. Which is obviously not. I mean, sure, it's easy to get distracted, it's easy to procrastinate, it's easy to just go on social media and then scroll for hours without realizing what we're actually doing to ourselves and our routine. But don't worry, I am here and I got your back. So, this is a full guide on how to focus on yourself, how to level up your life, how to level up in every aspect of your life, specifically the work task of your life or the work aspect of your life, and obviously at the same time handle your mental health along with it, because it's really easy to just go in that work mode of our life and then forget our emotions and forget how we are actually feeling from the internal. Now, all of you know that I'm a huge believer that external obviously matters, like how we look, how we dress, everything, but internally how we actually feel about ourselves, how we feel about our life also matters, especially to me the most. So don't worry, this is a full guide on how to become unrecognizable in a good way, obviously. Okay, so I think it's gonna be best if we use this guide as a whole month guide for the start, obviously, and then we can jump to 2 months, 3 months, and so on. So for the first month, the first thing you can do is, for this unrecognizable guide of yours, is to select or decide on one particular goal only for the entire month. Now, I'm not saying that you completely shift your focus towards that one particular goal and completely forget about everything else in your life. No, that's not what I'm trying to talk about. But I am saying that try to focus most of your energy and time into this one goal, so that at the end of the month, when you achieve it, you feel like, okay, I promised myself a month back that I'm gonna achieve this task, and I did. It's as simple as that. Because when obviously we all are not good at multitasking, it is just a myth that, oh, I can multitask really well. It's actually not a good thing, because when we multitask, our energy is shifted into different directions, which is obviously not good, because then our focus is in different directions, and instead of focusing on one task and achieving it efficiently, we tend to shift our focus to other thousand different tasks, and then at the end of the month we'll be like, but what did I even achieve? What did I even do? I just did this partially and that partially and that partially. I did not complete any of these tasks fully. Get what I'm saying? So basically, instead of trying to shift your focus in various different directions and various different tasks, try to achieve and try to focus on one single task at a time, so that at the end of the month you can actually say, like, okay, I did complete this fully and not partially. Also, when you sit down and set various different tasks for yourselves to complete in 1 month, you also tend to get really overwhelmed, and it's really easy to feel like that, and it's completely valid to feel like that if you yourself are putting so many different burdens on your head. So that's why I suggest that instead of focusing on various different things, trying to achieve all of them and becoming a master at them, just try to become a master at one, and maybe at the end of the month you can set a second task and then continue it in the second month or the following month. Now, the next is telling people your goals after achieving them, or when you're almost gonna achieve them, not during the process, not before even starting the process. Now, that is the most stupidest thing you can do to yourself, because when you tell people your business before you are even invested properly in the business, I mean, obviously, people firstly tend to gossip about it, and then you'll have this whole burden on your head. Like, okay, I've told my best friend that I'm going to achieve this by the end of the month, so I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do this. And then a whole another burden is on your head instead of the already existing burden on your head. Also, when you tell them that, you know what, I promised myself a month back that I'm going to achieve this at the end of the month, and look, this is the last day of the month and I've achieved this and I was a master at this. That is so much better and so much more motivating, because when you realize that you're actually telling this to your friend after you've done all of it for a month, it's so much more better, so much more motivating, and it helps you to realize that, okay, I'm on the right path. I did this task for a whole month and I can do more and more in the following months. Isn't that more motivating and more better than telling your friend at the start of the month itself, and then if in case you end up not fully achieving the task properly, then obviously it's a whole different scenario. I don't know if your friends are judgmental or not, but they might judge and they might tease you that look, you could not even achieve this, and even though you promised yourself. So instead of putting your self esteem on a pedestal, I think you should tell them after the month ends. Also, when we speak, we tend to speak our thoughts, right? And we tend to manifest things that we are actually speaking into our life. So when you tell your friend at the start of the month that look, I'm planning to achieve this, this, and this at the end of the month, you feel like you've already achieved it. Literally. You will feel like I've already done this. But in reality, you haven't. And then when you actually feel like you have already achieved this and that and this and that, when you're actually doing your daily routine and incorporating the task in your everyday life, you will tend to procrastinate more on it because you already told your friend that this is what I'm gonna do. So it tends to come into this procrastination cycle of yours, and it tends to make you feel more lazy towards doing the task. I don't know if this is exactly 99 or 100% true or not, but most of the part is true that we tend to procrastinate once we've already told our friend like, I want to achieve this. Next is, please remove all distractions. Now this could be anything. This could be social media, this could be your friends constantly calling you and going like, you know what, let's hang out, ye wo. Please remove all distractions at any cost. I don't care if you have to throw your phone in the next room and sit down to do the task, because in this social media world it's really easy to get distracted. I'm not blaming anybody here, but do you really want to base your future in this aspect of your life, where we are actually in our growing stage, we are actually understanding so many things going on around us? And I don't know if there are many youngsters seeing this podcast, but obviously as elders also, I think you all must be feeling the same thing, that social media has taken over everybody's head, and we tend to procrastinate, we tend to feel lazy, sluggish, and also compare our lives with others when we go on Instagram and see their reels. So instead of all of those distractions coming in your head, just for 1 month, try not to distract yourself, try to shift your focus towards your goal only. And trust me, you will feel so much better about yourself after the month ends. Let me know if you all want a full how to remove every distraction in your life guide on my podcast. I will definitely try to make one. So yeah, let me know in the comment section below. The next is, be around people who motivate you and encourage you to do more and more. Now, it's so easy to choose the wrong people in our life and to be around that environment and to be around those people who are actually jealous of us, or who don't encourage us, or who are just not proud of us, and who don't motivate us to do more and more. They're just there, they just exist in our life, which is really, really not my cup of tea. I need people around me who actually feel proud of me, who feel happy that I exist, who feel more encouraged, and who feel like, okay, I have done something, and who feel motivated by me as well as motivate me when I need it. It's not like I'm saying that your friends should be perfectionist or something, but they should at least be there to motivate you when you feel low. They should be there to make you feel like you've done something great, and they're proud of you when you actually achieve the task at the end of the month. So please make sure that you choose such friends who encourage you to do further in your life. The next point is related to the previous one, which is, cut off people/friends who do not encourage you to do more. Because when you have the wrong company next to you, you tend to obviously behave like them, or you take up few traits here and there about them, and then you will get distracted by them. So it's really important to have the right company around you who actually want you to achieve your goals, who want to see you achieving your dreams, instead of the people who really don't give an F about how many goals you're achieving or something, please cut off those people immediately. The next is organize your time mindfully. This could be in any form. You could make a to-do list, you could structure it on your iPhone, you could write it in your notes app, but just make sure that you're time blocking every task, which is really important, because when you time block, you know exactly what you're gonna do and when you're gonna do it, and it makes you feel more motivated to do it, because you know that this task is going to get completed within this amount of time, and you don't have to spare 1 minute extra doing it, and you will feel more excited towards your goals. You will feel like, okay, I've done this and I'll take it, and then you know for the next hour what you're going to be occupied with. Time blocking also helps not to overlap your task, not to overwhelm yourself by overlapping the task, or it also helps not to procrastinate, because you know you have to do it when you see the time ticking. Next is know your why. Know why you're so drawn towards the goal. Know why you want to put all your hard work for 1 month and go ghost on everybody else and focus entirely on this task. Because when we have a purpose, when we know our intentions with the goals we set for ourselves, it's so much more exciting, it's so much more motivating and easier for us to be drawn towards it. Even though we feel low in energy sometimes, we'll still be like, no, you know what, I want to do this because I've promised myself. So always know the purpose or the reason you want to do a particular task and put all your hard work into it. The next is shift your environment. If you have set a study goal for yourself, make sure that you are actually studying in a particular space you've set for yourself or you've made for yourself, which could be a desk, it could be studying in your room but not on the bed. You could actually put a carpet and sit down with a study table and study. And if you've set an exercising goal, for example, then you can have a room that is only meant for exercising, like set your yoga mat there, put some speaker and have a water bottle there, and have the basics of exercising equipments over there. You don't have to necessarily make it a gym or something. You can have the basics, like as I mentioned, and you will feel so much more motivated as soon as you step inside the room, and your brain will automatically know that, okay, we are in this room and it has an exercising environment, that means we have to exercise. Now, the study and exercise ones are just examples that I gave you. However, your goal could be anything far different from what I said. So make sure that you're shifting your environment accordingly so that your brain knows what to do and when to do, and it gets motivated when it comes into that environment. You don't necessarily have to spend so much by creating a space for yourself for a particular task that you've set for yourself. It could just be as simple as not studying on your bed, because that tends to make our brain very lazy, sleepy and sluggish. So just promise yourself that you're not going to study on the bed and instead study at the dining table, or have a study desk particularly set for studying. So yeah, I mean, I'm just mentioning that you don't have to spend so much, because a lot of us cannot afford everything at once. So it's completely fine. Just make sure that you're doing the correct things at the correct place. Next is know your energy givers and your energy drainers. Now, I have mentioned multiple times on my podcast that I have a list of things that make me feel good and things that make me feel bad on my notes app in my iPhone, and it is obviously there for a reason, right? So whenever I'm feeling low, I will check my things that make me feel good list, and I will simply pick any small thing, like it could be going for a walk, it could be talking to my loved one, like my friend or family member, or it could be watching my favorite series on Netflix, or basically anything. So know yourself so much, do the self-reflection part before you start this month, so that you already know what gives you energy, what makes you feel good, what makes you feel lighter, happier, and what makes you feel like you're actually living your life instead of just doing work and studying and all of that. And also know what drains your energy, what takes energy away from you, what makes you feel sad, what makes you feel aggressive, what makes you feel demotivated. List down all of those things and make sure that you keep those things away from you at least for this 1 month. And trust me, when your month ends, you're gonna feel so much better, and you will be so sure that, okay, I know this will make me feel bad, so I'm gonna keep this away from me, and I know that this will make me feel good, which is why I'm keeping it with me. You can also go on Pinterest and search for energy drainers and energy givers, and you can take suggestions from there as well. The next is follow people who motivate you or align with your goal that you've set for yourself. For example, you've set a wellness goal for yourself, or you've set a fitness goal for yourself. So you can follow creators who post content about fitness or who post content about eating nutritional food, anything like that. Basically, follow people who are actually going to help you in this process, and this will help you stay consistent and motivated. The next is break down a big goal into a small to-do task. Now, when we set goals for ourselves, we usually tend to set a huge goal like, I want to get abs in 1 month. No, that's obviously not good, not what you're gonna write in your to-do list, right? So when you're sitting down to write your to-do list, make sure that you're not writing an unrealistic goal that you feel scared when you actually read it when you wake up the next morning. So instead of setting huge goals for yourself and then ending up not achieving them, set smaller goals. Like if you want to set a study goal that you want to complete 12 to 15 chapters in a month, I mean, yeah, just an example, guys. So just mention that today I'll do 2 chapters, and then I'll do 2 in the evening, and then 2 in the morning and evening, and like that. So basically, break down a huge goal into a smaller chunk so that you don't feel scared slash demotivated slash overwhelmed by it. And also, obviously, you'll achieve it more easier or more in an efficient way when you actually have broken down the big goal. The next is, please don't let your emotions come in between. Now, I'm not telling you to invalidate your emotions. I am not telling you to ignore how you're feeling mentally. But sometimes when this is a really true example that I've myself been through. So when you are actually sitting down to do your task that you set for yourself for the day, your mind will tell you, you know what, let's just sleep. Or you know what, let's procrastinate. Let's not do this right now. We'll do this later. Those are the emotions I'm talking about. Those are the thoughts that I'm talking about that you should not let come between in your task. So I'm not telling you that if you're feeling really overwhelmed, if you're feeling really drained, obviously choose emotions over the task and give yourself the break or the rest you need. But when your brain is telling you the wrong stuff like procrastinating or just giving up on the task, or watching Netflix instead of doing the task, please follow the task instead of your emotions in that case. And maybe you can promise yourself that, okay, if I complete this task right now, I can reward myself later. I can watch the Netflix series later. Set your priorities straight and don't listen to your brain when it tells you to procrastinate. The next is, make sure that you feel good while you're actually doing the task, because we are not doing the task just for the sake of it and then forgetting it after 1 or 2 months and everything. We are actually doing it to achieve the bigger goal, right? So when we are doing it, we should feel grateful that, okay, I'm working towards my goal, or we should feel really glad, we should feel proud of ourselves, we should feel good about it, and we should feel excited for the outcome, right? So instead of feeling like getting afraid whether you'll actually be able to achieve this after a month or not, just try to feel good in the process, because process slash progress is more important than the outcome you get. Maybe you can remind yourself of how you have achieved your previous task in previous days. You can reflect back on those days so that you are more motivated to achieve more and more every day. The next is, make sure that you have a vision board on your Pinterest, so that when you are actually visualizing your goals and you're seeing the pictures, you are so drawn towards the goals. You are going to be so excited, you're going to be so motivated to achieve them. And also, when you constantly have that reminder in front of you, even if your brain wants to procrastinate, it cannot, because you are literally manifesting your goals. And obviously, we all know the power of a vision board. And just keep visualizing every day, keep looking at it every day, and get that daily dose of motivation. Also, for motivation, you guys can check out my podcast account on Instagram, because every single day I'm posting stories or posts which give you that motivation or that constant boost of reminder that you need. And yeah, the next is that it's really easy to get swayed off. It's really easy to get directed away from your goal or to get overwhelmed or something. So please make sure that you have a list of even the smallest achievements of yours in the past, so that you have time to reflect back, you have time to understand, you have time to see how much you've done before, and you know that you're gonna keep doing it. It is like a boost of confidence for you. The next is have a proper to do list. Trust me, cluttering all of those to do things in your head and then forgetting and everything is not going to help you in this 1 month. Because when you keep those tasks in your head and then you think like, I'm gonna remember every single one and everything, it is not reality. You will tend to forget either of the task, or you will tend to lose motivation because you have everything cluttered here. So have a physical to-do list, or you can have an app on your phone. I have personally used Structured for the past few months, and it's the best to-do app I've ever had in my phone. So basically, Structured also helps you to time block. So I think that's a really good point. Make sure to check that app out. And if you think like you're more of a physically writing down person, then get a book for yourself or get a to-do list for yourself where you can write down the task you want to do. So for example, you have like 5 tasks that you want to do for the day. Write each and every one down. This is so much better than cluttering everything in your mind. And also, when you're actually writing it down and after you achieve it, you will go back to the list and you'll actually tick those tasks, right? So when you tick, you'll feel like, okay, I did it, and it gives you that sense of confidence, and it drives you more towards your goals. Because personally, at the end of the day, when I've done every task and I've like just gonna fall asleep, that is the time when I check my to-do list and I tick off everything, and then I feel so happy, I feel so proud about myself. So I think that's something good. You should do it before you sleep, so that you sleep knowing that you've done everything and feeling proud about yourself. And even if you don't achieve every single task that day, it's completely fine. We have different energy levels every day, right? We cannot show up as the same human being every single day. So it's completely fine. You can remind yourself that it's okay, I'll do it the next day. And like that, you will actually get a better sleep as well. However, if you think that doing the task and then immediately ticking it off is easier for you, then that's completely personal. Lastly, I know it's the last one, but the most important one personally for me is celebrate yourself. Even if it is for the smallest things you've done, even if it is for the smallest task you've ticked off for the week, please, at the end of the day, you matter more than how much you have done throughout the day. At least you tried, right? And trying is itself progress. And as I said, progress is more important than outcome. You cannot directly jump from a mountain to other. You have to take steps down and then go to the other mountain. So instead of feeling upset or demotivated that you couldn't do a particular task, go out, treat yourself. And I'm not saying that you need $1,000 for this or something. You can give yourself a rest day. You can go for a walk with your friend. You can talk to your friend on call as much as you want. Like, you can waste your time on that day, or you can take yourself out for coffee if that's what you like. Personally, my favorite thing to do is go out alone. And I don't do that often, obviously, but as much as I get time, and if my parents are okay with it, I go for a solo cafe date where I just order myself some coffee and I just sit there and I reflect on the week, and I be like, wow, I did so much this week. And just self-reflection is so important, and it helps you stay in touch with yourself. And I think that's so important. It also gives you motivation, confidence, and more discipline to go further with your task. So make sure that you're treating yourself instead of just keeping yourself in work mode, because your brain really needs it. And finally, we have come to the end of this episode. Thank you so much for listening to me. I hope that you follow this guide for a month at least and see the outcome. But remember, progress over outcome. Okay? I love you guys. Make sure to check the links in the description box below so that you are following me everywhere and are updated about everything going on. And yeah, thank you so much. I'll see you guys same time next week. Till then, take care of yourself. I love you and I'm proud of you. Bye.